So, I don't know if a lot of you guys have heard about the recent drama surrounding Captain Marvel, as well as the main actress, the protagonist in the movie, Brie Larson, but she made some pretty controversial comments probably around 2 weeks ago, since the date of this upload or the date of this video goes live on the channel. But she made these controversial comments, right? And within these 2 weeks, there were article posts, blog posts, even videos about it from very big YouTubers such as The Quartering, etc., etc. And as you may know, people watch his videos, watch a lot of big YouTuber videos, watch or read a lot of articles, read a lot of blog posts, and, they try to get into the news about this movie. And basically everybody is outraged, right? There's people that are just like, so how dare you? And, it's just very, very toxic. And it's gotten so negative to the point that even people were going on to Rotten Tomatoes to actually, write a bad review about the movie and the controversy surrounding what Brie Larson has said. And in fact, it's even caused Rotten Tomatoes to delete all of the good and bad, mostly bad, comments and reviews around Captain Marvel on their site. And we're going to jump into this controversy right now. We're going to jump into Brie Larson and her very, I would say, awful quote. And we're going to actually tear apart the hypocrisy about it. And we're going to actually kind of come to this conclusion that really no one should watch this movie in the first place. So before we even jump into it, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit that bell next to the subscribe button next to my name so you know when I upload a new video. But let's jump into it. So basically, 2 weeks ago, Brie Larson wanted an all-inclusive movie critic set, right? She wanted a bunch of people to see the movie, whether you were young, old, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, etc., etc., different genders, different backgrounds, right? Whatever, right? So I don't really even have a problem with that. I think that's fine, right? As long as these movie reviewers have a very good background, have a good, I would say, reputation, right? As long as they know what they're doing, they know what they're looking for in movies such as this one, I don't have a problem with it. But she then followed this action up with a quote saying, "I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what it meant to the woman of color, biracial woman to teen woman of color," right? And before we even jump into it, I just want to establish I'm a Marvel fanboy, right? I love the Marvel movies. I love the cinematic universe that they have created within these movies. I love the backgrounds of all these characters, how they're relatable to us, right? They come over obstacles and challenges. And it's just great to see that these comic books are actually coming to life on the big screen. I love all of that. I see all the movies basically on the first or second day of release. I just absolutely love all these type of movies. Now, obviously, Captain Marvel, from the date of this upload, has not been released in theaters yet, and quite frankly, I'm not even going to watch the movie after this comment, but let's kind of break down the hypocrisy, right? She wanted an all-inclusive set of people, right? She wanted, all these different movie critics, all these different movie reviewers, and she then followed this statement up with saying, "I don't really want white dudes to see it. I don't care what white dudes have to say," essentially. And listen, I don't care. I don't want to be, kind of like racially one-sided in this video. What if she said, "I don't want a 40-year-old black dude to tell me what didn't work about this movie," right? Or what about, "I don't need a 40-year-old Asian to tell me what didn't work about this movie." Like, it's gotten to where she wanted an all-inclusive set, but then wanted to kick out one specific race. And that is, my friend, literally textbook racism right there. That is pointing out a one specific group of people but based off of race and ethnicity, and then you just basically wanted to exclude them from this quote-unquote all-inclusive group. And now all of these people obviously have picked up on this story, big YouTubers like I said, everyone's basically made a video about this, and all of these people that have made videos, articles, blog posts, they have somewhat of a following, whether it's 100,000 people here, 200,000 people there, maybe even 200 people here. I don't know if 200 people are going to be watching this video, but regardless, it all kind of accumulates. It all totals out to a grand total of maybe, let's say, 4 million, 5 million people at the bare minimum. But I'm sure a lot of people have seen these articles, so it's probably multiplied from 5 million, right? But a lot of people are outraged from reading these articles, reading these posts, because they're like, "Oh, I can't believe Larson said that. That's insane." But then there were a lot of other people, and they took it to the next level and even, poorly reviewed the movie. And I really don't have a problem with that, because Brie Larson included politics into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I never really thought, this was going to get as extreme as it did, but the actress for the lead head of this movie made it political. And yes, you could argue Black Panther was political as well, but, this is about Captain Marvel, right? So basically all these people have took it to the next level, actually poorly reviewed the movie on Rotten Tomatoes, and it got to where there was a 27% rating for Captain Marvel on the Rotten Tomatoes website. Now, as you may know, a lot of people, or the head execs of Disney, any type of movie production company, right? They'll, send out invitations to these movie critics that will inevitably review the movie at a high rate, give it a 90%, 85%, because if Disney, invites this critic A to review the movie and then they give them a poor review, that critic A is not going to be invited to any of the early screenings anymore, right? It's pretty self-explanatory, and that's why I see, Rotten Tomatoes has been biased in the past. So, a lot of, movie critics reviewed the movie and they thought it was pretty good. Some were giving it negative reviews, but then a lot of the people that were outraged and, influenced by the YouTubers that made videos about this, people that were reading blog posts and articles, etc., they also poorly reviewed the movie. And yes, that totaled out to a 27% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And what did Rotten Tomatoes do to protect their heads, to protect the movie critics that still want to go see the movie and get an early screening? They deleted all of the reviews of Captain Marvel on the website. The good, the bad, mostly the bad ones, right? And, I have a problem with that, because if you're a reputable news source or a reputable company for something, right, whether it's reviewing, restaurants, for example, Yelp, right, or reviewing certain, movies such as Rotten Tomatoes, you should probably include some freedom of speech into your movie reviews, right? You should include this, say what you want to say. We want to know about it. We're a reputable news source, and people come to see our website and to see reviews for specific restaurants or movies, right? And they come to see us because they want an honest review. And when people poorly review the movie because it got political, I don't really see a problem with that. You can poorly review the movie as much as you want, and in fact, it's still going to be poorly reviewed after the movie is released on March 7th, right? It's just basically inevitable that the movie is going to get a sub 70% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, whether it's people that see the movie or don't see the movie, right? But Rotten Tomatoes deleted all of the reviews, right? They deleted the good and the bad ones, and they basically left it like a clean slate. And you would think by now there were people that were continuing to poorly rate the movie, but they actually disabled that action. You heard that correctly. They disabled good and bad ratings. In fact, right now, from the date of this upload and while I'm editing, there's only an option to go say, I'll go see this movie. And you just click the button and that's it. You heard that right. At Rotten Tomatoes, I'm never going to review you ever again. I'm never going to go onto your website to look at a movie review ever again. This is honestly just so despicable. It's very petty, to be honest with you, because, people are still going to be pissed off of what Brie Larson said. That's kind of besides the point, right? And when this movie comes out and when it's all said and done, people are going to like this movie for the action, but then a lot of people are going to understand the background of the story, going to understand, Brie Larson and her motives behind this whole thing, the hypocrisy of what she said, and they're going to poorly review the movie. That's just kind of what it's going to come down to. That's ultimately what it will end up being. There's going to be this movie. It's going to be released. People are going to be pissed off at her and the concept behind and all the, backstory behind this movie, and it's going to get a bad review. And I don't really understand why Rotten Tomatoes did this. I don't know if they're going to, reenact the whole review tactic or review abilities and capabilities of this Captain Marvel movie. This isn't some type of site-wide dilemma either. You can poorly review any other movie right now except Captain Marvel, and you can only click that button to say that, I'll go see the movie. And quite frankly, I think that's just a slap in the face to the, people that support freedom of speech. If you didn't support freedom of speech, you probably wouldn't be watching YouTube right now, right? Because it's basically all subjective and opinionated, including this one, but overall, this is very hypocritical, not only of Brie Larson to do, but also Rotten Tomatoes, because Rotten Tomatoes, you're reputable, you have people always visiting your site, you have a lot of traffic, a lot of people just coming to see, a specific movie's review to go see the movie, whether it's in theaters or buy it on DVD or digitally get it through Amazon or something like that, right? And now you've caused this whole outrage after Brie Larson's outrage, and now you've just basically hindered people's freedom of speech in order to review this movie. And it's just so ridiculous, petty, and I would love to see what you guys have to say down in the comments below. Do you think this is as bad as I'm making it out to be? Do you think it was great that Brie Larson called out a 40-year-old stereotypical white dude to not review her movie? Like, I think that's kind of ridiculous. I also think it's pretty hypocritical of her to say this and then include everybody except this one race that she mentioned. But hey, I'm just some ridiculous small YouTuber in this giant world, so I would love to see what you guys have to say down in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. I'm Cryptix, trying to stop 40-year-old critics from reviewing me, and I'm signing off.